Everybody, this is Bo back in the sports line. We got another Round 5 MMA action figure coming on in the flesh. He's Chung Lee. He has decimated people with his footwork. He's now taking over the mixed martial arts scene, and we're going to get it 101 with him. How you doing, sir?
I am doing great. How are you doing?
Very well. Thank you for taking the time with us today. We know how busy your schedule is.
Thank you for having me.
Before we get to all the fun about martial arts, kickboxing, when we got to the bio, something that's now on the Discovery Channel is the way you came to America. You are by far probably exactly what America just embodies. You come over from a very tense situation, to say the very least, from Vietnam to the Philippines, and then you come to the United States and become a star. I think most people in America take their freedom lightly. You're somebody that has totally embraced what you can be, and you're still not there yet. You are still climbing that ladder, turning heads left and right. You are the real deal, sir.
Thank you. It's just, hard work pays off, and, faith in the Lord, and just one day at a time, and here I am.
The one thing that I used to do against kickboxers or people who didn't fight in mixed martial arts is their leg delivery. When we watch how you just decimate people with your leg work, it is probably one of the most, notable things I think in mixed martial arts or kickboxing. You are so good at how do you do it? You watch close corners and you're delivering these kicks like people deliver punches.
I think over the years of just doing so many different martial arts, especially the Sand Show, which is a Chinese-style full contact fighting, which includes boxing, kicking high and low, sweeping and throwing. You're in so many different ranges. You got the kick range, the punching range, and then the grappling, wrestling range, and then of course, every time you take someone down, the action starts right back up again. It's nonstop. So I feel like getting my footwork down and then delivering pinpoint accuracy kicks and strikes will basically win the fight for me, and I've carried that over to mixed martial arts, and it's working very well.
The one thing that we noticed watching your career is how you use your footwork. You take somebody out, you back away, you have them come back up. A lot of critics have challenged the fact of are you able to ground and pound? And, well, you were a pretty good wrestler at one time. It looks like you're pretty the full package when it comes to it. If you need to get down, you can get down. But your best attribute is your footwork and your hand coordination. I think you're one of the most coordinated fighters I think I've seen in mixed martial arts across the board.
Yes, thank you for that. I definitely work a lot of ground and pound, but there's a lot of MMA fights that actually most of the MMA fights either go to the ground and the guys either grounding and pounding or looking for submissions, and I think there's not as much good stand-up fighting. So for me, I also look at it as a business. I know the crowd will look at me for what I do best, and if all of a sudden I'm taking the guy down and I'm grounding someone, and I think what they expect from me is the dynamic kicks and the dynamic strikes and my footwork making people miss. And sometimes my trainer gets really mad because I like to standing there toe to toe and exchange, but do what you do best, get in and get out and do your damage. And that's what I've been doing and following the instruction of Javier Mendez, and I've just been getting a lot of wins by TKOs or KOs.
Yeah, there's 6 in a row. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Now,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
A lot of people don't realize also I have a really good takedown defense. I work Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but I'm a high school All-American wrestler, and I'm also a junior college All-American. I wrestled year-round freestyle and Greco-Roman in high school and also in college, and I just always wrestled, and I took the same work ethic as I did when I went back into the martial arts and into the mixed martial arts, and I just, I dedicate myself 185%.
Yeah, you can tell when you sit there and stand up an opponent and you're working where you can either throw a punch or a spin kick or a roundhouse, the execution you have, I would almost equate as a wrestler going for a takedown. There's no faking it. There's no if, and, or buts. You're going to hit it as hard as you can, just like you would in wrestling for a shoot. And I think that's where I draw my similarities for. If you're going to shoot someone and take them down, you've got to go fast. But when you take that leg and you kick them, I mean, you are so out there with the shot. I mean, it's, I mean, how many times do you get people ask the question over and over again, how did you develop that? Because that is a gift. I don't know how many times we've watched it. I'm sure you're in the same boat. Nobody delivers a kick quite like you.
I just been blessed by the Lord, and I work very hard, and I definitely do a lot of things to confuse my muscle, and I definitely do a lot of damage when my foot hits someone in the head.
Yeah, you do. Now, the thing, too, that we want to bring around is that there's a brand new action figure out. How do you think it looks for you? Does it reference you pretty well from Round 5 MMA?
I'm actually sitting here in Vegas at it's actually a martial arts convention, not the UFC Fan Expo, but it's one put on by Century. And when they pulled my action figure out of the box, I was just kind of shocked. I was like, oh my God, it's like it's almost like surreal. So.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and it's like we're also waiting for the action figures to come from all the movies you've been on. I mean, how many movies have you been part of because of your skill?
I've got 5 movies in Cannes. First one is with it's like it's called Fighting with Channing Tatum, Terrence Howard. The next one is Pandorum. That's with Dennis Quaid, Ben Foster, and then Tekken, which is a video game made into a movie. I play martial law, and then the other 2 movies is a Chinese language movie, but it's big budget from a studio in China. One is directed by Wu Ping, which is they call him the Master Wu Ping because he's like the action director for Matrix, for Kill Bill, for Forbidden Kingdom, and then the other one is with Donnie Yin and the director and producer now of Warlords, who Jet Li won the Best Actor award, and then the director Peter Chan won Best Director, and he produced a movie, and then the stars in the movie, there's like a big ensemble cast, but the biggest star is Donnie Yin, and me from the mixed martial arts world. So it's five big movies that will go to the big screen.
It's, when you sit back, and we're going to change a little topic to get a little real with you. Mixed martial arts is great, but when you sit there and look at somebody like yourself who has come to this country with just pennies, and you've worked hard and put it together, at times it's got to be a little frustrating for you when you hear people complain about some things. You've taken everything that they've given, and you've capitalized on everything. You've got so much going on. Your reputation as being down home, straight up front, is as tops as anybody in this fighting sport. But it's got to get you a little sad sometimes when you hear people complain when they have so much that they just don't act on it.
I just try to focus on myself, and whatever anyone else says or does, it's on them. I try not to, pay too much attention to that because, like you said, my plate is very full. I can only do what I can do, and for me, I can't make everyone happy. And the most important thing is I got to represent myself, the martial arts, the mixed martial arts, and my family name in the best light possible. So, they can say whatever they want, from the bloggers to the keyboard warriors to the critics.
That's right.
That's on them.
Absolutely. Now, before we let you go, because we know your schedule's maxed, and we're going to try to, minimize the time because you've got so many people calling on you. What is your next big fight that you have, and how are you preparing for it as you get closer to the date?
Well, I don't have any fights planned this year. I was expecting to fight, at the end of the year, but there's a few projects that we're in negotiation with. I'm like really superstitious, but basically, if I take on a fight, then the insurance company, because these are studio films, they won't bond me. Every act.